What are you doing? All right, guys. Shut up. We're finally back in the garage after about 2 weeks of Rona time. I had to stay home and we couldn't work. So finally, we're gonna uncover the beast. Go ahead and do your thing. Wow, it's been a minute.
Excuse the dust.
Yeah, it's kind of dusty in there. But what we did was, we put everything in the car because we knew we were gonna be gone for a couple weeks. So what we're gonna do now is take everything back out in the box. If you remember, we have the body control harness that we have to replace. That's gonna be the biggest job for today. And once we get that done, we'll reinstall the carpet and then continue to work on the rest of the stuff. So we're probably gonna be here all night, just like last time. And then we have some stuff of the 300, like the new body style stuff in here. This is the climate control bezel, the speedometer, all the carbon fiber stuff, the keys. But we'll take everything out of here and then go through the stuff and start working on the body harness. All right, so everything's out of the car. As you can see, we are ready to start stripping down the body harness, which is in this new box. But before we do that, I gotta install the new trans mount, which is right over here, because the trans is kind of sitting sideways now, because this is off. These are the 2 bolts to hold it in the middle. I believe these are 15 mils. And then we have the 2, actually these 4 15 mils to hold it from the outside. So we're gonna jack it up, support it, install the trans mount, so that way it can sit freely. Because as you can see right now, it's sitting like backwards. So we'll get that done, then we'll move on to the inside. All right, that's it. Trans mount is installed. We don't gotta worry about that anymore. Now we're gonna move on to the interior and start stripping down this body harness. That's probably gonna be the biggest job for today. And we wanna install the new one, so we're not gonna leave her today until that's all done. All right, so that's it. That's the old harness. It took us about, I'd say, an hour and a half to get it out. Everything's nice and clean. Got the rear shelf all cleaned up. And then if you guys watch the older videos, you know you have to drop down these roof curtains because the harness that goes up to the connector over here runs behind us. So make sure you just hang that down. If you try to shortcut it and then yank it down, you could possibly break this and then spend double the time replacing this and also the money. So the customer wants to make these red, these seat belts, so I also have to remove these and send them off to a safety restore. They're the ones who did my old seat belts, so we're gonna use them again. And now we're gonna get ready to install the new harness. And that should be it for tonight. Let's see what else we got. We got the trunk area stripped up. This is the tail lights over here. Of course, to get the rear bumper off, you gotta take it off because there's a harness that goes from right over here to this antenna, and that sits under the bumper. These are all the stuff out of the trunk area. We're gonna make sure to keep these stuff clean because owner took really good care of this car. I don't wanna get this stuff dirty. And that's it. It's looking really good so far. We've only been here for about a couple hours. This is the old stuff over here. And this is the body harness, which we'll install right now. The reason why I'm not recording this is because you guys already watched it on the previous videos. If you want to redo this and if you're trying to do this car on your own and doing this build by yourself, just go ahead and rewatch those. And I really explain step by step on how to remove the body harness and all that good stuff. But once we're done with that, we're gonna move on to the front of the car, install the cooling system, the brake system there, and see where we finish up tonight. So we're gonna move on to the body harness, get that installed, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, boys, that's it. New harness is in. Got it all the way through. The reason why I didn't connect it to the seat belts, because these are coming off, like I said. We gotta ship those out. But everything else is good to go. This over here goes to the trunk. I still didn't install this yet, but there's only like 4 connectors on this. Not a big deal. Got the suspension module installed, fuel pump modules installed. Everything else is good. We're gonna take a break, go grab some food, and then come back and finish working on this. But before I go, I'm gonna take off the seat belts. I'm gonna box them up. That way I could drop them off to UPS on the way home. And everything else is good except the rear suspension. And then I'm gonna try to shortcut the fuel tank. Instead of taking the fuel tank off, I'm just gonna replace the fuel pumps. But then if not, then I gotta replace the whole fuel tank. So we'll see how that goes. But everything else in the back, you got the speakers in, Harman Kardon. That's a subwoofer right over there. Everything is like OEM. See, in the new ones, it has dual fuel pumps. So that's why there's a second connector over there. And this is how the connector looks on this. It's completely different. That's why you can't use it. But simple stuff, nothing too major. Here's the old harness over here. I gotta drop this off to my buddy because he's using it on the build we're doing there. But so far so good. We're gonna go grab a bite and then come back and finish this up. All right guys, so I actually didn't record when we came back after we grabbed the food. But as you can see, I got the supercharger pump installed, got the cooling system installed. I also got the oil cooler installed, but the C-clips that go into the hose, I don't know if you can see those right over here. These hoses that go into the oil cooler, I'm missing them, so I couldn't install those to the oil cooler adapter. So I gotta get some of those. I'm also missing a clamp that goes to the heater core hose right over here. I'm missing the vacuum little sensor that goes into the brake booster. So we're missing a little bit of small parts, but nothing too major. I got the calipers installed. I got the wire harness installed for the suspension, for the ABS unit, and all that stuff. The interior, I didn't move on to it. I'm gonna do that. And here's our interior. Basically the same thing the way I left it off. Tomorrow I'm gonna take off the seat belts and then I'm gonna install the carpet because everything else is good to go. The harness is already routed through. Everything is 100%. But then we have the trim pieces right over there. We gotta take those to the upholstery shop because the customer wants to do the same thing, the suede. And here is the headliner. Well, yeah, we're gonna call it a night. It is currently about 12:30 in the morning. We've been here about 4 or 5 hours, which isn't bad. I also got to get the AC lines, the ones that go to the compressor, as well as the ones that go over here, back to the firewall. So yeah, we still got a few ways to go, but the hardest parts are done. And the big dash, we got to still fix the leather on the dash. But until then, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, and we'll finish all this stuff up. All right, man, so it's the next day here. It's almost about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I just woke up about an hour ago. I got some pretty good sleep. I rested pretty good. And then now I am on the way to Flagship. I gotta grab a couple of those smaller parts that I needed from yesterday. That way I can line everything up and get it ready for startup. So we are on the way there right now. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna grab from him while I'm there. And I'll also show you the project car that he's working on from the old parts that I took off the 6.4. So I'll see you guys when I get there. So we just made it here. Gotta call him to open the door. Yo, I'm outside.
What?
Outside.
Alright, bet. Yalla, sorry.
Alright. Wait for him to open the door. We having a photo shoot? Yeah, I taught you well. Came in with some damage, didn't see that. This is how you open the door?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, what's all this stuff over here? Oh, never mind, it's just Mondo. I thought it was some type of camo.
No.
But yep, this is it. So right now you can move it by just pulling this?
Yeah, you gotta lift it. I have it sitting on jack stands.
Oh. Where's the old motor? It's right there.
Yeah.
There's the V6 over there. And the V8 is under that stuff over there. Here's all the stuff that came out of it. These are the seats. This is the engine harness. The dash was blown out. He got a new one. And all the trim pieces.
That's the body harness over there.
Where? Oh, this one?
Yeah.
This is the core support for it?
Yeah.
A lot of work, man.
You already know.
And here's a Hellcat we're gonna be building. We're gonna do a wide body on it. What year is this? 19?
Yeah.
And then you're still deciding on whether to do red interior or keep it black. Leather dash. How many miles are on this?
5,000.
That ain't bad. But honestly, the pictures look way worse.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's not that bad. Can't start it now because there's a short somewhere. Once you take all this stuff off, you can find out why isn't it starting. You need a lot of parts though.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the calipers red?
Yeah.
Gotta get rid of these blue stripes though.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same one as all the ACR.
Oh, the red and black.
Yeah, look, you know, now.
Is it from the back too?
Yeah, just the corner a little bit.
Over here. Alright, so that's it. Got a little baggie of parts. Should help me finish up a couple things. And I'm on the way to grab my brother from his house, and then we're gonna head down to the shop. Alright guys, so we made it to the shop. Now we're gonna take off the seat belts real quick. Get those in a box so we can send them out. And then I'm gonna install the carpet because we don't have to worry about that anymore. It's gonna sit in here and then clip through these holes. And then all this extra stuff that you see laying around here, we're gonna put inside the car because we're not gonna be working inside the car until we get the upholstery stuff back, all that stuff. And then we're gonna move on to the cradle and the gas tank. So if you guys are still watching the same clip, I don't know if I'm gonna cut this in half and do 2 separate videos. I tried to work around this fuel pump and take the fuel pump off and just replace the fuel pump instead of replacing the whole tank. And it was just way too much work. So I had a fuel tank laying around from one of the older cars. It has a couple broken emission lines, like these over here, these gas lines, whatever they are for vacuum. But I'm gonna take it off the old one because it should be the same. And then we should install this one and just cut ourselves some time. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna install this fuel tank instead of that one. And let's get to work. So here are the seat belts. There's 5 in total, 2 in the front, 3 in the back. I'm gonna try to find the small box so I can get these out. And then now we're gonna cut up the cradle, all this plastic wrap we put on there, and get it ready for install. But like I said, I'm gonna install the carpet, so that's gonna be out the way. And then once we get the upholstery back and the seat belt, then we'll start buttoning up the interior and make it look good again. So we got a lot of work to do. The biggest thing is gonna get the cradle, get that installed, and also get the fuel tank in. That's it, carpet's installed. Needs, of course, a quick vacuum after we're done, but got the seat plugs routed out, so we get those installed. And then these are just the bolts for the buckles. We'll install later once we get them back. So now we're ready to move on to the cradle, right over here. But of course, we're gonna take off the old one first. Get that dropped down. And then we'll get the gas tank off and we can move this stuff on. So let's get started. Alright guys, so here is the old fuel tank. It's literally the same thing. I compared every single part of it. Everything's the same. But I had some damaged parts like I showed you off the old one, so I took them off. The ones that go to the HVAC unit in the back, and then the one right there, which is broken. So we got the new fuel tank in. I got all the wires connected. Everything's installed, 100% ready to go. And then now, as you can see, that one's good. Now it's time to install the cradle. The reason why I installed the tank first, because the tank has a hump that goes over this rear diff, and it's really difficult to try to tilt it back and get it over this, so that's why I installed the tank first. But now it's a lot easier, and then we are ready to install the cradle. A little trick, so if you're not working with a hoist, it's gonna be really hard to slide this in, because one of the struts are gonna hit into the frame rails in the back. So what you do is, depending on us, we use I'll show you off the old one. I like to slide it out from the passenger side. I'm sorry, from the driver's side, which is right over here. So what I do is I take one of the struts off. All it is a 15mm nut, an 18mm bolt. You slide that off, put it to the side, and then you could drag it out without it interfering. We did this a couple times. That's how I know that's the easiest way to go. But now it's ready to get installed. And what I'm gonna do is get the jack, put the diff under the jack, and just drag it under the car. So let's do that, and then we should be good for today. All right, there she is. The rear cradle's installed. Everything's good to go. We're installing the carpet now. The cover is on the carriage. But this thing, it's like a vapor sensor. It's different off the 6.4 and the 6.2. So I gotta get a new one. It fits perfectly onto the filler neck and onto the fuel tank, but the connector is different. As you can see, this one is a lot smaller than this. So I'm gonna make sure to add that to my list of stuff to get and get that done. But other than that, we're gonna button up these AC lines, the one I told you guys are missing. We got the two that go to the firewall, the one that goes to the compressor, right in there. And I think that's gonna be it for today. We got a lot done. We got the whole body harness done, cradle, fuel tank, and then now we're gonna button up the undercarriage. If I have enough time, I might install the drive shaft, which is right over here. Here's the drive shaft. It's only a couple bolts, so it shouldn't take too long to do that. Here is the dash harness, the one that we're gonna install in the car. As you guys know, the harness for the original car is still over there because we still gotta fix the leather on the dash, and then we'll swap them over. And then Flagship will be using this dash to do his build. So some ways to go, but for the most part, it's looking good. Interior is almost done. Like I said, we're just waiting for the other pieces to get done and suede. We'll get those installed. I got the seat belts all boxed up. I'm probably gonna send these out tomorrow. But yeah, man, looking good. Got my brother doing these right here. And then we're probably gonna head out, and then I'll come back here in a couple days and finish this thing up. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for today. Got a lot done today for being here for a couple hours. I installed the intake. I got the, what are these? The heater core hoses installed. The AC lines are done. I'm still missing the small bracket that goes over here. So this thing gets mounted to it, which I'll be probably getting from the dealer tomorrow. I'm gonna get some coolant, top it off with some coolant, change the oil, and then like I said, hopefully by, today's Sunday, by Tuesday I wanna have the guy come out here and program the keys. And then we're gonna gut the dash down, swap the harness out of it. I already put some of the stuff in the trunk so we can get ready to lock up. This is the old cradle over here. But yeah, so far so good. Got small miscellaneous pieces laying around. That's the rear bumper over there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. We did a lot of work, got the rear cradle installed, got the gas tank installed, finished up the interior. And like I said, we took off the seat belts, we'll just send those off. And then I'm probably gonna bring my truck back because I came here with my brother's car. I'm gonna load up these pieces as well as a headliner that's on top of that roof, and then drop them off to the upholstery shop tomorrow. Other than that, I'll see you guys back on the next one.